For example 5, here you have to use a half-angle formula to evaluate the cosine of 105 degrees. Since 105 degrees is not on your circle, then what we're going to do is we can use a formula from our formula sheet, and we can use, or if we have the cosine of 105 degrees, then that is the same as having the cosine of 210 divided by 2. And so this gives us a half-angle formula. We can let, if we let u equal 210 degrees, then we can use the formula plus or minus the square root of 1 plus cosine of u all over 2. And so we're just going to substitute in a 210 for u. And we'll get rid of the plus or minus here in a little bit. So you have a 1 plus cosine 210. So what we need to do now is, for the 210 degrees, we need to plug in the value, the exact value that goes with the cosine of 210. So that is going to end up being a plus or minus square root of 1 plus, if the cosine of 210, think about the sine of 210, so 210 is 30 degrees past 180, so your sine of that 30 is a 1/2, which means the cosine would be a radical 3 over 2. And since it's a negative, it'll be a negative radical 3 over 2, because you're in quadrant 3, all over 2. So what we have to do is simplify from here. So square root of, this actually ends up being a 2 over 2 minus radical 3 over 2 all over a 2 over 1. So if we multiply both sides by or the top and the bottom, by 1 over 2, then what's going to happen is we're going to end up and get rid of part of our fraction underneath here. So we end up getting a plus or minus 2 minus radical 3 all over 4. And what we can do is we can split this up into two different radicals, one on top and then a square root of 4 on bottom. So your square root of 4 will turn into just a 2. Now, for the plus or minus, we're going to use, oops, sorry, this should all be over 2. So to determine whether you need a plus or minus, what you have to do is you have to go by where your 210, or where your original problem starts with. So since we start off with the cosine of 105 degrees, oops, 105, not 150, of 105 degrees, since this is in quadrant 2, then the answer is going to end up being negative. Because cosine is negative, or 105 degrees, since you're in quadrant 2, that's where cosine is negative. So your answer has a negative. So here is your final answer for example 5.